Then talking Canelo versus Billy Joe Saunders. What did you expect, guys? What did you expect? Saunders did pretty well in round five. Of course, he was changing up things since round three, but body shots from round one. Then Canelo hit him with four successive left hooks to the liver. Canelo wasn't even throwing jabs; he was just throwing body shots. He closed the distance, get a foot position, throw body shots. Then he threw the lead right to the body, started sweeping the lead right to the body, and he started mixing it up to the head. So by round five, Billy Joe Saunders realized he needed to fight back, needed to have some sort of offense. Billy Joe was trying to pop the jab. He was doing it different kinds of ways. The first way, he started just popping the jab as he's circling Canelo. The second way, he started keeping distance and popping the jab, and kind of keeping the jab out there to keep more range. And then he started changing levels and popping the jab from low to high and that kind of thing. He had some success in round five. He made Canelo miss a lot. I think he caught him with a off of the clinch. He caught him with a little uh, left, kind of like a left hook, not a check left hook, but like a left hook. Um, and he was trying. I mean, it started to get. He was making Canelo miss a lot. Canelo had to make adjustments to that. So he was kind of evolving as the fight was going on. Um, round five, I gave him that. Round six, Canelo was still landing body shots, um, constantly. That's his bread and butter. And Canelo kind of lost his patience for some reason when Billy Joe started moving around the ring a lot and started trying to go for the head. And he was missing a lot because Billy Joe would dip under the head shots, and so he returned to the body shots in round eight. And in round eight, going back to the body, I mean, he caught Billy Joe dipping because he started throwing combinations as Billy Joe was dipping, changing head slots and dipping, and he caught him with a shot as he was dipping. Um, Caught him with a left hook because Canelo masked that left hook really nicely, so he would go to the body, dip it up to the head. So he did as he was going to the body, went to the head, caught Billy Joe to the head. Both Billy Joe's eyes were swelling up by the time, because Canelo punches pretty hard and broke his eye orbital and then just pounced on him in round eight because Billy Joe was hurt and he just pounced on him. But Billy Joe was still dipping under punches though. He was getting Canelo to miss. So like from rounds seven onwards, well, it was only two rounds, but he really got Canelo to miss in round five. He did a little something there and progressively got him to miss a little bit more. Canelo settled down in round six and really started chopping him up, especially getting him in corners and chopping him up. Hit him with the lead right to the body or left to the body, and then just really chop him up to the corner. But in round seven, again, Billy, that was a good round for Billy Joe. He didn't win that round because Canelo was still landing body shots, and the guy who was really landing shots was really Canelo. But round eight, the momentum completely changed, and Canelo was crashing him in round eight, even though Canelo was still missing some shots. What I was looking to see was if Billy Joe used some of the things that Arislandi did, what would Canelo do? And Canelo sort of made an adjustment to that. I saw. At first, he was impatient, and so like round five, he thought he was using that precise footwork, breaking down Billy Joe, and then he just kind of changed it up and started just trying to walk in on him, and throw headshots. And he was starting to miss because he was coming down the wrong trajectory because Billy was pivoting. So he made an adjustment to that, and he was able to go back to what he was doing, but he did it with just a little delay in his movement, a little feint or a little delay in his movement to get Billy Joe to get into position first, and then he throw the body shot. So he sort of changed it up a little bit. So he was on almost an awkward rhythm, Billy Joe, which was really interesting because it showed me that he did evolve from the Canelo that fought Arislandi Lara. Initially, Billy Joe was getting his ass handed to him. Canelo was just walking in, landing body shots, right? Because he was using the precise footwork coming off a certain angle. When Billy Joe started moving around the ring and trying to change up angles and change levels and stuff, Now Canelo still used the precise footwork, but now he had to use his rhythm and timing so that he could get lead foot position on Billy Joe, just like what he did with Aristotle Lar. So he kind of figured out everything Billy Joe was doing. Canelo had an answer for him, and as Billy Joe started dipping, that's when Canelo started to really try to go for headshots when he should really just continue to do his body shots and just change up his rhythm slightly, feint to get Billy Joe to step out of position and then throw the shot, which is what he started doing in round 8. So it was a matter of time. I did believe that Billy Joe was going to take a lot of punishment. He definitely took a lot of punishment in this fight. Very selective, very precise punishment, and Canelo punished him, broke his eye orbital, and Billy Joe's corner said, "Hey, we not continue with because the fight would have been one sided and he would have knocked him out." Clearly, it is what it is. So Canelo broke his eye orbital, and that was that. I did tell you guys Billy Joe was going to get beat, and the reason why I thought so was because he didn't come in with the confidence, as much as he was pretending all this bravado and stuff. He didn't come in with the confidence, and you saw it in the beginning. He started to build confidence when he realized he could actually do something against Canelo. But that was false confidence because obviously Canelo ended up breaking his eye orbital. Now some people are saying, "Oh, Billy Joe, he a coward. He just copped out. If he'd continued, he'd have gotten beaten worse." Because Canelo was looking to put a beating on him, and he was systematically beating his ass now. So nah. Yeah, that's Canelo versus Billy Joe. So the next guy is Caleb Plant. Caleb Plant's probably feeling very hopeful because the DAZN team, they be talking up Billy Joe as if Billy Joe was doing something in that ring. He wasn't doing shit. He wasn't doing shit. He did try to change up his game though. I like that. That he tried to do different things, and he actually got Canelo to actually miss shots because Canelo was still coming with the same game plan. And then when Canelo realized that, Canelo started changing up stuff. So yeah, but them boys ain't ready. None of them boys ready. None of them boys ready. Demetrius Andrade and Charles, they're not ready for Canelo, man. David Benavidez, he's a very active fighter, throws a lot of punches, but again, it's hard to catch Canelo. Like if you really think about that fight, how many shots did Billy Joe Saunders actually land on Canelo? He caught him with a good jab early on. He caught him with that little left hook off of the clinch. I mean, he caught him with a counter left to the body when Canelo was going to the body himself. But really, not a lot of shots you hit Canelo with because he got defense. Boy got defense, right? And it's good that Billy Joe could actually have made Canelo miss. That was good, but boy got defense. So and he got a decent shit. So at the end of the day, that was Canelo versus Billy Joe Saunders. Wasn't much of a fight. You know, people want to say that Billy Joe put up something. He tried to put up something. I think that and he's very good. Billy Joe is very good for that division. I think he's the most experienced of the division. Caleb Plant's much better. I think Caleb Plant would do a little bit better than Billy Joe. Definitely. But Caleb Plant don't have the experience, and Canelo will make the adjustments to what you bring to the table for him, and then you got to have an answer for that. So I just personally think that it is what it is, people. It is what it is in this boxing game, and I don't really see anybody out there beating Canelo right now. Love to see Demetrius Andrade, Jamal Charlo versus Canelo, Caleb Plant versus Canelo. But I don't think there's anybody out there right now that could beat the dude. He got he got a lot of factors that work in his favor. And one of the most important ones is he has defense. It's not easy to hit him flush. He got defense. He's very systematic in how he breaks down a fighter and how he comes at him, but boy got defense, so it's hard to hit him too. And that's what makes the big difference. I mean, that makes a huge difference in fights. So that's basically it. That's the breakdown. Canelo versus Billy Joe Saunders, supposedly the mega fight. uh, Trying to find something in boxing that really excites me that I can really talk about a good fight, but it's hard to find them. They're few and far between now because sometimes you got a fighter that's just so dominant that just always looking dominant. It's gonna be hard to beat Canelo, man. It's gonna be hard to beat Canelo. But Billy Joe Saunders, he got some defense. That's good. Defense is very important to beat Canelo. But ooh, that experience, man. Canelo got too much experience. He fought too many tough guys. He had tough fights early in his career. He had tough fights in the middle of his career. He fought the very best. In fact, Canelo actually, in one interview, he praised Floyd Mayweather, and he called Floyd the one of the great fighters of all time. And now that we look at what Canelo's doing to everybody else, we realize just how good Floyd was. Okay. Because Canelo had less experience, let's be honest. He had less experience than he has now. But the truth is, without Floyd Mayweather, he wouldn't have that discipline. He wouldn't have that kind of, the word I'm looking for is temperament. Not temperament. The word is, it'll come to me. But where you can keep composure. That's the word. See, in Boston's all about composure, and he's got the composure, and that's something. If you've been at the top tier level, and you're gonna have an answer for anything another boxer gives you, that confidence and that composure, that's what he got. Billy Joe Saunders didn't have that. I mean, he tried. You could see with shaky legs coming out the gate to begin with because he didn't have the confidence, he didn't have the composure. As the fight went on, he started gaining confidence, but he still didn't have the composure. So I mean, he was calm. Don't get me wrong; he was relaxed, but he didn't have that Canelo relaxed composure and like precision. Like there's a certain precision to it, you know. Canelo's the best out there right now, right? Hands down. People want to talk about doping. I mean, people coming with some weird ass excuses. Oh, Billy Joe, man, Billy Joe. I think a lot of people shocked that Canelo stopped Billy Joe. I did not think Canelo was going to stop him. I thought he was going to beat his ass up, but he ended up getting stopped because he broke his eye open. He stopped him. Did I think he would have stopped Billy Joe? I think he'd have beat the. I think he'd have beaten the flying daylights out of him. He didn't break his eye orbital. He would have beat him up because he was going to the body, and that's what sap. That was what was sapping Billy Joe. Billy Joe would start off good, and then body shots, boy. He just can't maintain because you're getting hit to the body all the time. Yeah. Anyway. Yeah, you ladies and gentlemen, that's about that for Billy Joe versus Canelo. I think the next one's Caleb Plant, and Canelo will be undisputed. Could have been undisputed at middleweight, but it is what it is. I hope that he faces Demetrius Andre and Jamal Charlo sooner than later in his career. Sooner than later because I think those are the only guys now that could give him any trouble. David Benavidez throws a lot of punches. He's big and he's strong. But I still don't think he beats Canelo because Canelo got defense. Like I said before, the problem with it is he's a 1-2 combination. What I mean by that is Canelo is a sharpshooter right now. He could throw combinations, but he's a sharpshooter. And the other thing about him is so he places punches in between your punches. That's what I mean by sharpshooter. The other thing about him is, yes, I know David Benavidez is a big, strong guy. But the other thing about Canelo that makes him a problem is that you know he got defense. He got really good defense, so it's not easy to hit him clean. You know, and a tall guy like David Benavidez, he gonna be chopped down by Canelo bit by bit because Canelo's gonna go to his body. Um, And David Benavidez will not have the rewards that he wants to have against Canelo. Because remember, Canelo's short. So he can get under your punches, you know? And that's a lot of people don't realize being short is not a disadvantage in the fight. necessarily. You can use your short stature to get below punches much easier because you're closer to the ground. So dipping below punches is much easier for you. You know, so I'm just saying that Canelo he got that advantage over David Benavidez. Benavidez is also a body puncher, but then now he gonna have to dip lower to get to Canelo's body, and he'll have to establish himself with a jab of some kind to keep Canelo off of him. You know, and Benavidez does have a good jab, but again, a good jab does not keep Canelo off of a guy. He gets to you anyway. All right, all these guys got good jabs. Billy Joe Saunders had a good jab in the southpaw stance. Canelo still got to him, right? So it's a problem with Canelo. Canelo is a problem for any fighter out there because he has a unique set of skills. And like Floyd said, Canelo been studying my ass, bro. Canelo been studying me since I beat him. Not gonna be easy to just go in there and beat Canelo. No, it's hard. It's gonna be harder, and you can see it. You know, so it'd be interesting if Demetrius Andre really want to go up and pursue Canelo. I would like to see, because them guys. After seeing Canelo beat Billy Joe, the way he did and the manner he did, he broke his eye orbital. Do you really want to get in the ring with this dude? Come out with a broken eye orbital, or broken ribs or something. I'm just joking. I'm just joking. Canelo, I don't think none of them are afraid of Canelo like that, but I do believe that it's just one of those things where a lot of people don't realize how good the kid is. The kid's good. The kid's got a lot of experience. He's been with the top tier guys, and Billy Joe is, like I said before, I think he is the best. He was the best of them. The thing I think, let me tell you what I think was Billy Joe's undoing. Billy Joe's undoing going to this fight, as I said before, and that was everything I needed to know, was when he did not show up for the face-off. When he didn't show up for the face-off, I was like, okay, this dude ain't confident in his skills and abilities. He not ready for Canelo. And true to form, he began the fight frozen up. He didn't have no game plan. He wasn't fighting with a game plan. Canelo was just landing body shots on him. And that was because he wasn't confident. He had very little confidence that he could beat Canelo. When he finally started to come into his stride somewhere around round 5, and he realized, man, I could do something with this dude. Well, he was way below the scorecards. And then he started doing something. He really started doing something. And Canelo started solving that and I find an answer for it. Never mind what the commentators were saying. They just saying that probably the hype of the fight or whatever. Yes, Canelo was missing certain shots because at first he was succeeding with those shots, so he changed it up a little bit. But he never forgot to go to the body. And when you're going to the body of a guy and breaking him down like that, it's only a matter of time before that dude, he ain't got no more legs. And again, what we call precise footwork. He kept on walking him into corners. He's inching in, stealing ground on Billy Joe Saunders, and pushing him into the corners. And Billy Joe has no idea what was going on. Like, this a little guy. Canelo's smaller guy than Billy Joe, right? He's shorter than Billy Joe. Got a shorter reach than Billy Joe, right? He's not supposed to push Billy Joe back into a corner. Billy Joe's supposed to be able to use his length, his reach. And that's what Billy Joe started doing. He started stiff arming him, sort of like doubling and tripling up the jab to keep that reach. And what Canelo started doing, he changed his posture, changed his stance. He started to do the Mike Tyson thing, and he was bobbing and weaving coming to Billy Joe Saunders. Still using the precise footwork. That's how he got in. Because he's fainting like I'm gonna come in. So Billy Joe will keep the hand out, and then he just slips the hand, and he's keeping walking in on him. And he's gradually doing it. He's not trying to do it all in one step. Shakur Stevenson started using that precise footwork. I've seen him doing it. Floyd, when he want to walk a guy down, the same kind of precise footwork. It's something that you got to learn, though. It's taught to you. And Canelo used that, and then he talked with his trainer, and the trainer was like, go back to what you was doing with it. Just throw a feint in there. And that's all he did. He just threw a feint into his movements to get Billy Joe to to conform to what he was doing and push him back again. That was all. All right, people. I'm gonna catch y'all guys later. I am what you need. Hope you guys have a good day. It was easy work for Canelo, man. Easy work. Billy Joe's easy work. What we need is a challenge for Canelo. I think he's gonna have a better challenge at 175 because they're bigger guys. That's the only reason. Yeah, Beterbiev is a big, strong dude. I love to see how Canelo solves that problem with a big, strong dude. But there really ain't much of a challenge at 168. You know, Caleb Plant's a good boxer, but he doesn't have the experience. The problem with this, he's a good, very good boxer, just don't have the experience. And none of those guys are ready for Canelo. If Billy Joe can't even handle Canelo, none of those other guys can handle Canelo. You know, too much experience. And he's got that composure. He got that composure, and he got the confidence. He know what he's doing. He's seen this. He's seen the rodeo like 700 million times. So you're not showing Canelo nothing he never seen before, and that's the problem. He's way ahead of them boys, and that's why he's just so calm. You notice how calm he is in the ring? It's almost like Floyd calm. You know, he real super calm. He don't be riled up about nothing. He a cool customer in the ring. Been down this rodeo many times, so ain't nothing you showing me that I never seen before. You know what I mean? Nobody can show him something that he's not seen before. So it's just another day of work. All right, peoples. I'm gonna catch you guys later. What you need out. Peace.